Hello and good morning. This is Andy McCann, your host here. I am trying to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances, and that is the title of the show. So you can find it on podcast, or if you're on YouTube, where it's at Andy McCann 42. So you can watch this as a video. I do have some kind of slides. I don't know. It's web pages that go along with the talk, and there's a camera on me because Levi said, "Dad, if you're gonna do a thing once, you might as well make it twice. So do it as a video and then rip out the audio." I'm like, why not? So it's been a while, and I'm going to give you some updates. Since it's been a while. It's been a while for the lion diet, and I'm going to give you some updates on Evan. So here's what the list of things we're going to cover. Is 2 or 3 days enough to do CrossFit? Is 1 day enough? Is 2 days enough? 3 days? 4 days? We're going to talk about that and half-assing it. We're going to talk a little bit about the lion diet. We're talking about sugar. We're going to talk a little bit about coaches. We got a couple coming on board, and then maybe you're interested. I'm going to show you the process on how to do that. I need to pause and add this thing. Hold on. Okay, cool. I got these other things pulled up so I can show you. There's some podcasts about joining the team, so if you want to learn some more about being a coach before actually spending money to be a coach, you can do that. Let's see. Then we are going to go into CrossFit affiliate programming. I made some edits, and then let's see. I can't move that over. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to show you something that I did, or at least tell you if you're listening. And then some open gym access, passing the torch in 2025, Garage Fitness Online, Worldwide WOD, gym resolutions, and then a LinkedIn page. Okay, so here we go. As you guys know, I own CrossFit Garage. Been doing CrossFit since 2007. We started the gym in 2008. I am 50. I'll turn 51 this year, and I don't have I don't take any drugs, and I don't have constant visits to the doctor. I barely ever go. I went to see Dr. Skardassis at Optimal Performance Medicine when I turned 50, so I could get all that work done, and he said, "Yeah, you're fine." Now I will say there was 2 tests that he had to rerun because the numbers on the, I think when they do tests, they give more false positives just in case, rather than you would hate to miss a real positive. And then we redid a test. He's like, "Nah, whatever, it's good." So, I guess my encouragement to you on that is this. It is possible to do what we do and to be pretty dang healthy. The goal of what I'm trying to reach and trying to give you is to be harder to kill. If you're thinking to yourself, "I'd like to be jacked and get on stage and show off my muscles like bodybuilding," that's not what we do. Yes, your body will change, especially if you let us affect your eating, but it's more when life throws you lemons, you can squeeze the crap out of them and make a ton of lemonade. So you'll be fine. We're going to use, actually, I should probably pull that up. I don't think I've talked about that in a while. The hedge against sickness. Let me pull that up. Okay, I've got that slotted, so I'll remember to talk about it. All right, guys. I want you to be able to lay that firm foundation, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50. We just had 3 people in the gym have babies. And I know when you have your first baby, your whole life changes, and you want to be around. You want to make sure you're there when it's time for them to have kids, right? And you want to be healthy and fit and able to do. Now, you also need money, but we do talk about that here, but that's not for today. That was we just did Rich Dad Poor Dad. You can go listen to that one. Take base hits, right? Get out of debt. Okay, so my youngest one just did this thing right here. So she just passed her driver's test, and she did crush some cones. Make sure. So here's my advice. Well, let me tell you this first, then I'll give you some advice. So Evie just got her driver's license. I paused you guys and went over and gave her a hug and a kiss as she went to school. Well, just a hug. They don't do that kissing stuff anymore. But so she's on her way. She knows she's supposed to text me when she gets there. So we have rules in place. If you need rules or you need help with drivers that will come, let me know. I've got 4 kids that have done this, and they all drive relatively well. I'm happy to help you. It's another piece of the puzzle. If we pull together and help each other, we can get a lot more of this done well. Now, I will say this. Not everybody's the same, so my tips may not work for your kid, though staying on the right side of the road usually is good for everybody. Don't cross the line. It's usually good for everybody. The biggest thing I can tell you there is don't freak out when you're starting to teach them to drive. You're on the wrong side, the passenger side, and it looks like mailboxes are going to hit you all the time. Start off slow and easy. I don't know if I'd start off in a neighborhood because so many people could pull out. Maybe go to a neighborhood that's being built so nobody's there and drive it so that, I guess the problem there is you may get a nail in your tire, but I think that would be better to do. Or go to a church parking lot and just have them drive around, though you don't get the line effect. Anyway, so I know that when you have kids, you want to be there. My vision for the future is I want to be happy, or that is true for the gym. My vision for the future is I want to be healthy and fit enough to coach my kids in soccer. So what does that look like? I mean, it kind of looks like what I'm doing right now. So the other part of the gym, we are happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now as well as in our 90s. And those things go together. So weirdly, right, the vision of the gym or your is similar to my mission or my own personal vision, right? That just makes sense. And this is why you kind of want to ask a gym, hey, what are you guys going for? If it's hardcore steroids, well, then go for that gym. But you should ask them to make sure that's something that you want to do as well. Okay, so first thing, is 3 or 4 days enough for what we do? And what if you half-ass it? So there's a whole podcast. It's number 59. It was back in, when was it published? July 18th of 2023. So it's episode 59. I went back and numbered them because several of you guys asked. It's called, Why Do We CrossFit? Is 3 or 4 days a week enough? So there's a whole podcast on this, but let me just tell you this. So sitting down, I just coached a class, or did I coach it? Did I work out? I think I coached it. And Randy said, man, I feel like I didn't do a very good job on that. I feel very sluggish. I was like, okay. So what I hear you saying is maybe this coming in today didn't move the needle. He's like, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. So I said, okay, remember when we did the warm-up? And my brother Charles said, dang, this warm-up is pretty aggressive. He's like, yeah. I said, most people's workout is just our warm-up. So you already did a good job. Then think about this. If you come in 3 or 4 days a week and you half-ass it, a brand new person, and they half-ass it, will they be fitter a year from now? He's like, yes. I mean, certainly. Even half-assing what we do is going to pay off. I even tell people all the time, if you come in and do 3 or 4 days a week and let me adjust your diet a tiny bit, and you're not fitter a year from now, I'll times 10 your money back because it's the biggest no-brainer in the history of no-brainers. So it's going to work. It's going to move the needle. So we talked about it. Did you go below parallel? Yeah. Did you lift something heavy? Yeah. Did you get out of breath? Yeah. All right. So really the next thing is show up 3 days a week, try for that, and then let's push for a 4th. So this stuff does work. You just have to invest just like you would in your retirement. The weird part is, just like retirement, if you're 60 and you're like, hey, I want to start saving for retirement, the dividends, the returns aren't very good. So same thing, if you're 60 and you're like, hey, I finally want to turn my life around and live healthy, I mean, good for you, but it's probably not going to change you very much. So the closer you get to the end, so the 50% mortality rate of humans is 76. So if you can make it there, then half the people that were born on your year are already dead. And it sucks. And then we don't live very long after that. Okay, so what I did want to show you is this guy right here, this picture of using health and fitness as a hedge against sickness. So let me tell you about that. So this is the health and fitness continuum that CrossFit put together. Imagine there's an arc, like a rainbow, and on one side, on the left, it says sickness, on the top, it says wellness, and on the far right, it says fitness. And then it gives some base measurements, like blood pressure, body fat, bone density, things like that, right? An easy one is your pulse. So if you are sick, I think we would all agree your pulse is probably up in 120, right? So everyone would say, yeah, you're sick. If you were well, they say, hey, if your beats are around like 72 beats per minute, you're well. And if you're fit, you're probably in the 60 or less beats per minute. Now, obviously, there's a sliding scale. If you're down in like the 20s, you're probably not fit. There's something wrong with you. So what happens then is if you are fit and your heart rate is, let's say, 60, and you get sick, then your biometric measurements just move to well. So you're not really in trouble. Your body's not in like, oh no, let's do open heart surgery. You've just moved from the fitness numbers to the wellness numbers. Yes, you are sick, but you're not that bad off. Now, if you're well and you get sick, then you drop to the sick numbers, and that's not good. So this gives you a hedge. Fitness hedges your bets, gives you some protection against sickness by having to go through the numbers that they call well. All right. So this is a lot of why we do what we do. This is why there's not 5 days a week of just jogging. This is why there's not every day there has to be some sort of lift. I would say we're still slightly strength biased because we do put in the like 10 minutes of warming up or 15 minutes of warming up, whatever the lift may be, with some intentional practice. And it's not just warming up. We'll tell you, hey, let's get to a heavy. So you do get some time under tension. But the point is, CrossFit, the idea is to give you constantly varied functional movements executed high intensity sometimes, because they know that that's going to give you the minimal dosing for the maximum effect. And that's why we do what we do. Okay. Next thing, lion diet. Man, I believe this is starting week 8, or maybe it's week 9. Let's see. I feel like I did a podcast or an episode about this already. Yeah, it's probably 7. It's probably 8 or 9. But here's what's going on with me. So I'm just eating meat, salt, water. I've added goat's cheese, and sometimes I do regular cheese, and of course coffee. I got that right here. And I basically try to add things when Evan adds them. He's added some coconut yogurt, which I hate, and coconut water, which I'm not a fan of, so I just don't do that. I do take the element packs to get some salt and electrolytes in, magnesium, potassium, and salt, so electrolytes. I think maybe it's too salty, possibly, but it's in a packet. It's easy to do. I can rip one open. I throw it in some hot water in a big mason jar and let it kind of super saturate, and then I pour more water in on top. Interesting things. I'm down to about 153, so I'm like down 10 plus pounds, which wasn't my goal, but it's, fat has dropped off. You can see muscles and love handles are gone. Not that I was a big guy anyway, and I don't think any of my muscles have really like deteriorated. I'm eating a lot of meat. So if I eat, this is kind of gross, but here we go. If I eat 10 pounds of meat, which I don't, but let's just say, if I eat 10 pounds of meat, I'm only pooping like 1 pound. It's a weird conversion. I am going to the bathroom very little for the amount of food that I'm eating. You know, Evan found an article, thank you, Vivian. Evan found an article that said that meat pretty much digests completely in your stomach and then through your small intestines, and barely any of it is left to reach your large intestine, which makes some sense in why it would help with something like Crohn's, because his large intestine is the one that's got some issues, and now there's not food really getting processed through that. So every time he tries to add something, it gets a little bit weird. I'll tell you about that in a second. So anyway, we're doing this lion diet. If you can go to liondiet.com. It's Michaela Peterson who started it, and she is Jordan Peterson's daughter. She actually has a new last name. She's married, but I don't remember what that is. And she's got some recommended things here. The interesting thing that I love about this is she tells you, here's the lion diet. There's really nothing for me to rake in the cash from. There's no thing to buy from her. She's just basically saying, eat ruminant meat, salt, and water. That's it. And then there's some things like, hey, read this, buy this. If you want to help me out, buy it from me. That's cool. She's not. So this is why I think medical professionals lean away from using food and exercise as a solution, because it's hard to charge for it. So if they tell you, hey, you need to go exercise, then all they're getting from you is the visit fee and not the medical fee or the medicine or whatever. And I'm not saying all of them are like that. I'm just saying there's probably a reason why, like, we asked a guy, hey, what if we change our diet? And he's like, there's no way, absolutely, positively no way that changing your diet would affect this at all, guaranteed, 100%, stick a pin in it, whatever. And yet there's video testimony, and it's working right now. Okay, so for Evan and his Crohn's, I think the hardest part is when he tries to add things, I feel like he goes a bit overboard. So instead of like, hey, let's try 1 blueberry and see how that goes, he's like, let me do 5 cups of blueberries. It's not that bad. But I think he goes overboard, so he gets a little agitated. So I have told him, journal it and start making notes. So typically what happens if he goes ham on something and eats a little bit too much, like he got goat's milk, and I think he said he almost drank the whole quart that day. I mean, he's like, it's just new, it's different, it was good, it was tasty, I wanted it. Yes, but it's introducing something weird in your stomach. And then the next day he had a lot of issues with GI. So it's just painful, and you just don't want that. I think the other game changer has been putting in, thank you Charles and Vivian and everyone else who sent me information on it, buying a bidet from Amazon and installing it. Man, that was super easy. If you want to do that, let me know. I'll come help you. The installation is super easy. And it just saves on all the wiping. And when you have a problem like this, you're going to wipe a lot. So it's helpful. So he is not as excited about the lion diet as I am. And so he came home this weekend. It was Evie's birthday. And actually Olivia came home too. And they're both kind of doing the same thing. So it's kind of neat to see them. So I got up and made eggs and ground beef for both of them, and they're like, eh. And then I put goat's cheese in it for me, and they saw what I was doing. They're like, okay, that's different. Let me try it like that. And then we did steak, and if you could see this picture right here, Michaela's got some salt flakes on it, not just like poured salt, but some flakes. So my wife has this Celtic salt, and you can use different salts, but it is interesting to give it a crunchy, salty taste. And it's weird. I find myself really craving that salt and fat. And maybe in another month, I'll go back and do some blood work, see how things are going. Anyway, Evan said it did clear up some other issues that he was having. That's kind of like an oh, by the way. So he's got a little bit of eczema, and he hasn't been itching. His face cleared up, and man, there was something else I can't remember. But it's interesting doing this low inflammation diet and see what it does for you. All right, so that is the Lion Diet. It is going well for both of us. And the next thing I would want to tell you guys, I had another conversation at the gym about sugar. If I could remove anything from y'all's diet, it would be this. Just start taking out sugar. Specifically, don't drink sugar. Come up with another way, like drink something else. Or even if you did a diet thing, I don't really think that's great either, because it's just replacing the sweet. What I would try to aim you towards is getting the sweet factor out of your tongue so that you're not wanting that you're not having that cue and that ritual and that reward of all that sweet. So you want to get rid of it. So the first thing would be to stop drinking sugar. The second thing would be to stop eating sugar. Yeah, I know it's tough. I do feel like if you try to game the system and then reward yourself with more sugar, then it's become a reward even more and more desirable because you look forward to those times. So it's tough. I did it cold turkey a few years ago, and it didn't work. And then I did it again with a better mindset. And now it's been, I don't know, it's 10 plus years of not eating sugar. I think this has helped me in the Lion Diet. Hold on, coffee time. Because the cravings aren't really there. And Evan said the cravings are tough. So he's battling the need for all the other food as well as the craving for sugar. Okay. Next thing, let's see what we got here. CrossFit coaching. If you're interested in coaching, let me know. If you're just interested in learning more, this is a great way to do it. So we've got a process that's not awesome, but there is a process, and it's I guess it is awesome in the sense that it moves at the speed of you, and there is no pass fail. We just keep growing until you feel comfortable and grown, right? So the first thing would be you have to go get actually it's not even a first thing. First thing would be let me know you're interested, then we'll make a plan. But if you ever want to be on the floor by yourself or just learn more, then they've got your CrossFit Level 1 is available online. So you can buy that. I think it's still $1,000, and you do it at your pace. And then there's a video session, so you have to have a camera. Maybe you could just do it via your phone. I'm not really sure. But and you would need a wall ball and a PVC pipe, which you can borrow from the gym to do it. So you can get that, and it's a good education as well as a step to being on the floor. So before you do that, you could just do some shadowing and see if you enjoy what we're doing. What I would say is to find myself to start with, and then we can branch out to other coaches. And the shadowing, what that does is, for example, I would coach a class and you would just watch. Maybe the second time you're like, hey, I got that. Can I try the warm-up? Yes. And then you do the warm-up, I coach the rest. And then we give some teaching tips like, hey, what did I do right? What did you do right? What did we do wrong? And then we keep doing that until you feel comfortable and you're on the floor doing the whole thing. And then afterwards we debrief. We also do coach to coach as time goes on. And I got Coach Owen coming in to work with coaches as well. So right now I'm spending a ton of time in the evening helping all the new evening coaches. And they're really not new anymore. It was back, I guess, in June and July when they started coming on board. So they've got a lot of months and reps under their belt. So this will be the last week that I'm with them, and then I will move to the morning classes and start picking up all of those. Well, not the 5 a.m. Josh will be picking up the 5 a.m. Thank you, Josh. And rotate with me whenever you need it. Don't get burnt out. And I will pick up the other classes, and then we'll do that for a month or so. Then I'll slowly integrate some of the other coaches into it. And or look for new coaches like yourself or guys that are out there already that maybe moved to Woodstock. Like I know one of our new members, Jake, who has the it's the car detailing shop across the street. Now I'm drawing a blank. Dirty carriage, dirty horse, dirty something. Yeah, sorry, Jake. He is a ex CrossFit owner, so he would be an easy one to throw into some coaching if you wanted to. Anyway. If you want to go down that road, the first thing I would say is listening to a couple podcasts we put out. So you got episode 125, Coaching, Seeing and Correcting and More. That one was back on April 30th, 2024. Then there's 107 on Coaching, Getting It Just Right. That was January 23rd, 2024. And then there's another one, episode 101, running a class, being part of the team at CrossFit Garage. That was published back in December 19th, 2023. So take a listen to those three. And again, they were 125, 107, and 101. And you'll get some good information out of that. Of course, email me, text me, call me, whatever. I'm happy to chat. I have actually freed up a ton of time now that Evie is driving. That's 30 minutes to school and back. So that's an hour there twice. So that's 2 hours plus the planning time. So maybe 2.5 hours a day that I just freed up. And yay! Like right now I'm doing this podcast at 7:23 a.m. ahead of my schedule because I didn't have the driver. So this is great. So I'm getting a whole bunch of things done right now. And I'll be in the evening class helping those coaches out for this last week. And then you'll see me a whole lot in the morning. Well, those are the morning class. You'll see me a bunch in the morning. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is programming. The broad stroke in programming is what are we supposed to be doing, and is it worth it, and how does it work? All right, so programming. Really, if you have any method that you'll follow, it's better than a method you won't follow. So do anything. Anything's better than nothing. Next, why do we follow CrossFit affiliate programming? Well, okay, so this could be a problem for me, and I'm willing to say, Andy, I am wrong, or that sounds weird, but you know what I'm saying. You guys can call me out on it for sure. I feel like if we're a CrossFit gym, we should do what CrossFit says we should do because it's the programming that like really identifies into what they're doing. So if I was to pick, let me go find something at random. Let me find a couple. Okay, well, I can't find it. Everybody's gated behind a paywall, all their workouts, which makes sense. They wouldn't want to give away for free what they're already doing. But typically, what I have found when you go out and buy other programming is it's too much. Let me back that up. If you've been here for like 2 years, it's not too much. You could just come in and kind of do things and go. But if we're ever going to coach you or train you or help you get better, if you want more coaching, there has to be less stuff so that we have the time to go around and like help everybody, right? So if it's something like, I don't know, go out for a jog, then yeah, you can put more things in there. But if it's got clean and jerk with pull-ups, I mean, it's going to take some time to go through everybody, right? I suppose the other thing we could do is, I don't think this would work, but you guys can let me know. If there was a class that was designated beginners, and then there was a class, so there's like all the classes are still there. You take something like the 5 p.m. and you say, hey, this is specifically for beginners. If you're not a beginner, I wouldn't show up. And then take another class like 6 p.m. and say, this is specifically for people who know what they're doing because we're going to do a lot more or something. I'm curious how that would go. That would be a rough transition if you were coaching between those. But anyway, I guess I'm open to it. So the reason we use CAP is because CrossFit affiliate programming comes from CrossFit headquarters, right? And we're an affiliate. I figure if we weren't going to use it, maybe we shouldn't be an affiliate, which I guess I could be okay with that too. So help me out, help me understand. Now, one thing that we are doing is, if you can see, well, some of you can see this right here. So Monday the 23rd, which is today, there are 3 workouts that they list. Yeah, that's coffee time, and for you to visualize in your head what these workouts are. I should hit pause next time, right, Charles? Anyway, there are 3 workouts that are listed. RX, as many rounds as possible in 15 minutes. Do dumbbell carries at 35 and 55 pounds. Do 10 burpees to a 12-inch target. All right, then there's intermediate. It's basically the same thing, except it drops the weight in the dumbbells, and it drops the target height to 6 inches. And then there's beginner, which drops the weight even more and just says do 10 burpees, right? So no target. We deleted out the beginner. I should probably leave that in there just in case people want to see it, but I was able to change the wording so RX and intermediate actually show up, and you can choose those. So now we're doing exactly what they have listed, and we don't have to say, wow, how can we possibly do that? So when we look at the stimulus of this workout, and we call it coach's notes, but it's the stimulus, they're saying, hey, you should get about 8 rounds, so 6 to 10 rounds, and you should be able to do the carries unbroken, and it should take you about 60 seconds. The burpees should take you about 60 seconds as well. And this shouldn't be so terrible that you have to like really rest your hands on your legs to breathe. So it says constant movement. So I look at this and say, all right, dumbbell front rack carry. So it's going to be up here for 50 meters at 53 pounds. So that's actually a kettlebell, isn't it? Dumbbell. Oh yeah, it is. Double kettlebell. I said dumbbell. Double kettlebell carry. So it's 52 53 pounders. Yeah, I can't do that. Even 50 meters, that's going to crush me. So I'm going to have to drop that down. If they want continuous movement, I don't think I can keep my arms up that much. Doing 10 burpees to a target, yeah, I could do that. So I could do 12 inches. I'm light, I'm agile, I can jump, that's fine. Now, jumping hurts my knee a teeny bit, so you know what? I may back that down and just say, hey, today, intermediate is exactly what I want to do. Now, if I do the intermediate, let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on. There you go. Now we're recording again. Cool. So we've got a couple people who've already finished the workout this morning, and they put in their numbers, and Josh went RX, and, oh wait, it shows up RX plus. Dag nabbit, it's supposed to show up. Let me go back and look. So if I go to the 5 a.m., there's an RX, see, if Moises, if he was to log it, RX plus. Ah, it didn't change it. RX plus. It's supposed to be, that's interesting. It didn't change those values. I'm going to have to go ask him about that. I guess that makes sense. It's too big to change. Okay, that's a real-time fail. I should have thought of that. The button for RX and the button for RX Plus didn't change. And now that I think about it, why would it? So, all right, that didn't work. Nuts. Well, we'll let it go for this week, and I'll email Wodify and see if I can come up with a solution if that button can change at all. If not, then we'll go back to the other way. And anyway, and then I'll move on to the next point, which is, I'm not there yet. Anyway, so I did a little social media post, but you can see this as well if you go into the workout. So now all the RX and intermediates are going to be listed, and we're going to call it what they're called. And so it's there. I thought it would have pulled up the right button, but it's a graphic. So yeah, why would that pull it up? Dang it. Well, I didn't think that one through all the way. Well, I thought I did, but hey, minimal viable product. Do a thing and let's see what happens. Let's iterate. Okay, well, tell me how this week goes and let me know if you like having those options there. The other thing that I would consider is maybe we use something different. Like when I pulled up, let me see if I can pull it up again. Mayhem affiliate page. Mayhem affiliates. There we go. I was like, hey, I was trying to find their workout and I couldn't find it. I thought, oh, let me, they have this affiliate map. Let me look. So this is pretty damn impressive. Look how many people use affiliate programming. And there he is right there. Rich Froning's gym is in red. This is a ton. It doesn't have them listed. Is there a number? But I would say, man, that has got to be at least 1,000 gyms. Maybe not. Well, I don't know. It's pretty dense. How about this? It's definitely more than 500 gyms using his programming. I'm curious if there's one for CompTrain. That's another big one. And NCFit. Let me look. Okay, I could not find one for NCFit, but I did find a sample of their programming, and this is what I wanted to kind of point out, which makes it really tough. So we only have one gym, one space, one coach, one time slot, one class, right? But on Monday, they're like strength, all. Everyone's going to do an EMOM, 10 minutes of a power clean. And then you have a performance track, which is going to do the Cali Bear. So it's a 20-minute workout with clean and jerk. So and that makes sense. And then fitness is, it's the exact same thing, but less weight. Okay, so maybe you could do that. So I see what they did there. Let me look at the Tuesday. Fitness. And okay, so on Tuesday there is no strength, but so their strength portion was just what we do already. It's like, hey, warm up for the clean and jerk, and then do clean and jerk in the workout. They have RX and intermediate, but they're calling it performance and fitness. So I guess it's the exact same thing. I thought it would be something different. So on Wednesday they have build to a heavy on a 16-minute running clock, build to a heavy 5-rep sumo deadlift high pull or sumo deadlift. And then in the workout, there's sumo deadlifts. Son of a apple, stop it. And the performance is a higher weight, and on both the sumo deadlifts and the wall ball, and then the fitness is a lower weight. So yeah, they're just using that as like an RX and intermediate. So it's actually pretty much exactly what we're doing already. So I don't see an advantage or anything to switching to that, except maybe they don't put in some weird stuff. I think what I might maybe do is look at the workouts and edit them for weird crap so that we don't do some of the strange movements and things that I'm just like, I don't know. There are some things that I definitely don't think we should do at speed. I think they're okay to practice, but like Turkish get-ups at speed, probably not a great idea. I think, well, anyway, so that's something else. I'd love to, if anybody is passionate about the subject, I would love to talk to you guys and get your insight. Okay, so, where were we? Let's see. This is the... Oh, I did the coach board. All right. So the next thing for you guys, I've been trying for a very long time to get open gym access. I emailed probably, oh man, maybe a year or 2 years ago saying, hey, who would be interested? I think I didn't know that most of you were not getting the emails. So I only had one reply. So I was like, I'm not going to do it. But I think it's because most of you didn't get the email. So it's probably a year ago before I realized that somehow Wodify had unsubscribed everybody. Oops. Anyway, so I'm going back to do that because I had a good conversation with a couple of you. The most recent and probably fresh in my mind is Tyler. He's like, hey, I just realized that you're okay with me doing bench press after a workout. I mean, yeah, totally, yeah. But you would have to come to a class that has a class after it. So you can't come to the last class, obviously, because it's time to go home. So he's like, okay, so I may be adding in some things. I'm like, yeah, totally fine. Yeah, do that. That would be awesome. So guys, one, you have my permission. If you've done our thing, either before or after, and you want to do a thing, totally do it. We're into accessory workouts, especially if you ask, like, hey, what should I do for this? Man, I'm going to tell you. The coaches are going to tell you. But if you have your own thing, like I'd like to add in back squats every Monday, yes, please do that. Also, be conscious of the class and courteous and move to the side and just stay out of the way. Totally cool. So the other thing he said was, look, sometimes when I get off a plane, I just can't make it back through traffic to get to the last class. I'm like, yes, that does sound true and a reasonable problem. I'm thinking of doing this open gym access. He's like, that would be great. So here's what happens. Open gym access. Insurance has said, yes, you cannot do what you're trying to do. I was just going to give out keys. They're like, yeah, you can't do that. They either have to be level 1 certified or, and this is what they have. They're like, you have to have a keypad that, it's a keypad lock, so not a key lock, that also logs who's coming in, so everyone gets their own ID. So we have that on the back door. The front door is a thin glass door, so the metal frame is too thin to put a lock in, so I couldn't make it work. I'd have to buy something totally different. So anyway, minimal viable product. I got a lock off of Amazon. It's the one that Danny uses at home. So I bought the same one. I put it in the back. And if you need access, if you've been here for 4 years or more, you totally get access. Let's work this thing out. If it's less than that, just give me a moment to get this thing figured out. These guys will help me work out the kinks, and then I'll open it up to more and more people. So I've got that. The cameras, I got to put cameras up because they want to be able to see who's in the gym. Or not see, but they want to be able to record what happens in the gym in case something weird goes down. So I have those, and I've got them plugged in the office. I just haven't put them up. So I'll get to that. Sorry, that's a slow thing. I got to feed cable through the ceiling and, do some other things, position them right, and make sure I'm not doing it dumb, which I do a lot of things dumb. So, yeah. The other is I have to have a phone in the gym. So I have a spare cell phone that I was using for the gym. So I've put that in the gym under the AED, the red box, the automatic emergency defibrillator. And the pin on that is 2008. That's when the gym started. So there's a Post-it note on there so you can turn it on, hit the pin, and go. I don't know a way to not have a pin in there, so there's a pin. I do need to have an adjustment of our waiver, which I haven't done that yet. And I need to pay for the extra insurance, which I haven't done yet. I'm trying to get the other things done first. So, but that is coming. So look for that. So if you need to use the gym, it would be something like, Andy, I would like open gym access. Okay. Download this app. It's like U-Bolt or something like that. And then it'll send you an email with a code. And the code will be something like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. I don't know, some sort of code. You could probably change the code. I have no idea. From the admin side, I can set it. But I'm guessing you could actually change it. So then when you come up to the door, I think there's 2 ways to unlock it. One is you can do it from your phone standing there at the door. Or 2, you can put in the beep, 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 put in the code, and it'll open up the lock in the back. I will tell you this. I had to jinky up the lock back there because the door is metal, and the hole in the 2 holes in the door weren't aligned exactly right. So it does work, but I had to use the old bolt because the new one wouldn't slide through the door correctly. So, yes. It's not a perfect solution, but it does work at the moment. I sprayed some WD-40 on the whole thing. If I need to, I'll take it apart and really clean it out. But again, let's just see if this puppy works. Okay, So that is coming, 24/7 access or open gym access. I guess if you want to come to the gym at 2 a.m., I suppose that's okay too. I wouldn't do that, but whatever. So initially my whole thought was, hey, we're into coaching, mentoring, and accountability. We want you to be in class so we can help you out. That is true. But Tyler is right. Andy, all the gym stuff that I have is right here in this gym. I don't have anything at home. And if there's no way for me to get in at 9 p.m. when I get off my flight and I do want to lift, then I can't. I'm like, you know what? That's really valid. And I want to help. So this is helping out that portion. It is not meant to, I guess I could do it, but I'm not really into it. Hey, I just want an open gym membership. I only want to come when everything is closed and nobody's there to use a gym. I don't know. I don't know. I think that would take away from the whole community aspect, and you wouldn't know who anybody is. So I just don't know if I would do that. Let me know what you think. All right, so the next one. In 2025, I am passing the torch on to somebody. I already had a couple people approach me. My preference would be coaches, then members, and then somebody else passionate in the CrossFit community that is looking to pick this thing up. For example, my sister Vivian is a coach. Her sister owns a gym. Her brother owns a gym. She has said in the past, I think I would like to own a gym. Is it her? I don't know, but she is passionate. She's put years of coaching in place, and she just moved somewhat closer-ish to us. So I don't know. Maybe she'll start coaching for us, and we'll see. But that's the type of passion. There are coaches at the gym and members at the gym who have said in the past and recently, hey, I would be interested. Let me know as that thing comes to fruition. I am not in a rush, and I am not... I guess the big thing for this is I think when I am good on text and on the phone talking to people, but when we get in person, I think I surprised them that I'm 50. And they're like, I feel like you should be younger and more fit, like any of the other coaches. Or most of you. And I am pretty fit, but I am very gray-haired. And I think there is a time when you age out. And I'm going to be, I'm going to go silly on this, but take something that is pretty much a kid sport, like let's say t-ball. You're playing t-ball. You expect the kids to be at a certain age. And then one high school senior shows up to play t-ball. You're like, yeah, I don't think that's right, I think, while it's not that bad, I think there is a time when there needs to be, new thoughts, new ideas, new innovations, more hip with the trend. Like I say CAP for CrossFit affiliate programming, but apparently CAP means you're lying. Like I detect CAP or something. I don't know. I don't even know these new words. I still say things that you probably shouldn't say around. Like, I won't say them, but I do, and I don't mean anything by it. I just grew up in the 80s, and we said things, and we were more thick-skinned. So I don't know. I'm sorry for hurting your feelings. I'm not even sorry for hurting your feelings. Just grow up some, right? So anyway, I should probably look for somebody that's a little bit more in time with the culture and is experiencing the journey at the same place or a little bit ahead of where you guys are. So 2025 is when I'm going to do that. So I've got this right here. Chris Cooper with Two Brain Business has a podcast out, How to Buy or Sell a Gym. So you can check that out. It was published on December 9th, 2021. So there's a podcast. There's a download you can get to. Maybe I should link that. If I remember to, I will. Is it something you can click on? No, it is just a podcast. Okay. So you can find that on podcasts. It's on all of the main streaming options. That'll be sometime in 2025. I'm not in a rush, but I do realize I think I've hit my time horizon on this bad boy. And I think it's time for somebody else to, lead the ship, put the captain's hat on and say, this is what we're doing. Potentially, my desires and goals are not aligning with some of y'all's. I think as you have kids, you guys are all going to fall into the same bucket. We're all in the same one. I want to be alive to be active with my kids and see their kids. And who doesn't want that? And then as y'all have said, I want to be harder to kill. So who doesn't want that? I don't necessarily want an extra 20 pounds of muscle on my body. I think that would look weird for me because I'm kind of small. And it'd just be hard to carry around. So that is not my goal. That would be hypertrophy. I think if you were really looking for that, you wouldn't be in this gym anyway. But anyway, I also want big time community. the three F's for coaching for me are fun, fitness, and for coaching. So even in the saying, it's funny. So if there's not fun, then what's the point? If you're having fun, you're gonna come back and you're gonna get fit. If you're having fitness, then you're gonna start believing what we say, and you're gonna know that we care. And when you know that we care, you're gonna care what we know, right? So it starts with fun. Somebody else may say it doesn't start with fun, Andy. It starts with form. I don't know, whatever, right? So maybe it's time for that. I don't know. So 2025 is that year. So let's see. The next thing I have for you guys is, okay, yeah, we did start Garage Fitness Online. It technically has nothing to do with the garage, except for the fact that you have stuff at home and you're like, hey, I'd like to be healthy and fit. Here's another bit that has been weighing in my mind. So we're following Brandon Phillips's programming for his gym down in Kennesaw, CrossFit Bound. And for many reasons. Probably the biggest is, Brandon is awesome and he loves the program and he's got a well thought out system. Why don't we use it then for our gym? That is a good question, which I've had challenged to me by Brandon, Charles, and Justin. Well, mostly Charles. And he's like, why aren't we using that? And I was like, well, hey, the first thing we really need to do for you is, you need to show up more. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Without showing up, it doesn't matter. So I'm investigating that. I do like the idea of what he's doing. His gym's median member is different than our median member. So we're not going to appreciate the same things. There's a lot, for example, there's more, not that they are going to competitions like the games or whatever, but I think there's that mindset because that's where Brandon came from, right? He came through the world as I'm crushing it in games. So there's a lot more of that, whereas I could care less about competitions. To some degree, I'm going to caveat that in a moment. Actually, I think it's next. We'll just jump right into it. So I am going to try to bring back the Worldwide WOD Gym Resolution. So the Gym Resolution is a workout you do at the end of the year. It's the same 3 workouts every end of the year. Because, who did I have this conversation with? I'm going to try to insert some more quarterly testers. We've said that over and over and over, and then, we never make it happen because it's hard to put in there with CrossFit affiliate programming to just steal a day, but I'm going to steal it anyway. So I'm going to do that thing. But anyway, these 3 workouts are basically it's Helen, Karen, and Grace. A little bit different. So Helen's got to run. So in this case, we're going to use a rower. And then Karen, I forgot why we called it something different. I have to go back and look to see what we do a little bit different. And then Grace, it's just clean and jerks, right? So we have those 3 workouts to test different capacities and to see how you're doing year to year. So that will happen at the end of the year. So you have to be around during the Christmas break season to get these 3 workouts in. I'll come up with a way to plan that. Okay. I'm going to leave it right there and talk to you guys. Whoa. There he goes. Talk to you for a little bit on a couple things coming up. So this coming Saturday, we got our coaches party. So coaches, welcome to the jungle. We're going to come to the house, do a thing. Originally it was on the 21st. We moved it to the 28th. So we got most of the coaches coming. And now then we also have for gym party on December. I'm looking right at it. On October 12th. Let me actually pause you right here. Okay, I just re-looked up the details. So I'm taking 30 people from the gym, and it can be your spouse and kids as well, because we want people to meet people. And so the reason for 30 is I'm on septic, and I don't have like a ton of toilets, so I don't know what's going to happen if we have that many people come. If we had the entire gym come, I think we'd blow out my toilets, and I would be in trouble. So septic is a little bit different. It should work just fine, but I am a little nervous. So we're going to go with 30. And it's 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I'll do some grilling. We'll be outside as long as the weather's okay. Otherwise, we'll change it and do it all inside, I guess. Or move the date. I don't know. Anyway, so the only way you can get to that is if you are subscribed to the email and you get the email that has the Gym Evite link. If you don't have that, you can't sign up. And you can't sign up, you can't join. So it's a one way to say, hey, I need to limit the numbers. This is a good way because not everybody is on the resubscribed back to the Wodify email. So this will help you do that. Then we also have, oh man, it's not on there. Why is that not on there? Hold on. There it is. On October 14th, we have Bring a Friend Week. All they need to do is sign a waiver and they're in. The coaches will help them and everyone will know, hey, it's their time this week. Let's help them out. Bring friends and family. I definitely need you to do this. If you got people that you know, love, and like, and you want them to try this out, bring them in. Yes, we want to give them a week and it's a gift to you, but also we want them to sign up. So the only way we stay in business is if we have people sign up. There's a couple things that happen here. we don't do Groupon, we don't do discounts, we don't do random ass drawings, and I took away all of the social media advertisement, mostly because that creates people that join that don't stick, and we spend time helping them, and then they go away, and we detract from helping you. So I don't want to do that. What I want to do is find someone that would be a bit more sticky and is a lot like you, since we already like you, right? So if Timmy brings in his wife Tina, that makes a whole lot more sense and a bit more sticky. We want that. We want them to enjoy this together. Sometimes, well, maybe don't go to the same class time so you're not working out together, but we want you here. If you got friends, bring them in. If you've got a ton of friends, let's say you got 5 people you want to bring in, let me know. I'll create your own class, or I'll show up to a different class time and coach with whoever's coaching and work with your guys in particular. That's totally fine. If you got a bunch of people, I would love it. I would just do it a little bit different, okay? And then December 2nd, week will be alumni week. So if you were a member here in the past, I think I've gone with the past as in if you quit before June of 2023 or 2024, so basically it's been about 6 months since you've been in, then come on in, check us out, see what's changed. So that'll be December 2nd for that week. Maybe I'll open it up to everything. I don't know. Maybe it's just if you were an alumni at any time in past. I have to give that some thought. Okay. Last couple things. I would like to create a board game night. So, I don't know, come to the gym, come to my house, something, every other Thursday or something, whatever, and let's play some board games. So if you're into that, let me know. I would like to do that. Maybe I'll just stick it in the email. The other is we've got 2 shirts that I'd like you to think about. One is Brandon Phillips's Cobra Commander shirt that he wore for a long time, very OG. If you wear that and people are like, hey, look at that, then they're OG as well, so you can be part of the OG culture. The other is I do have a Forever Fierce shirt design that you guys voted on, and a style. I think it's one of those like long sleeves that aren't actually all the way long. What do they call it? Like a third long sleeve? I don't know, something like that. As well as a long sleeve with a very simple design on it, so you guys can pick that shirt up. I'll launch that probably next week. I don't know. Just got to get it finished. The last thing then is if you're on LinkedIn, I finally updated my LinkedIn. I haven't been in there forever, and you want to have like, hey, look at that. Let me know. I think coaches, CrossFit Garage is in there, but Eric Richards programmed the details, so I got to figure out a way to sort that if you want to show it as a thing that you're doing. It's not like a very interesting looking business page. But anyway, if you're on LinkedIn and you want to link up, by all means, hit me there. Just look for Andy McCann. It's got my picture, so it should be easy to find me. All right. I think that is it, guys. So in short, show up and do something, right? Just do a thing is better than not doing a thing. If you need help with your kids and driving, I'm here for you. 3 to 4 days a week is enough. Use fitness as a hedge against sickness because you have to go through well. Try eating more meat and less crap. Try eating less sugar. Look at learning more with a CrossFit online level 1 just to learn, or maybe become a coach, right? Here's some coaching episodes you can look at. Programming. Let me know what you're thinking. I am toying with some ideas. There is an open gym access coming. If you're interested, make sure you email me, and I am logging all of that on a sheet so I remember who you are. 2025, pass the torch. Garage Fitness Online is available worldwide. Gym resolutions. Hopefully Sharon will be hosting us. We'll see. I'm still working with her on that. And if you're on LinkedIn, let me know. All right, guys. Y'all take care.